Hey, everybody, welcome to Monday Night Live in Lexington, you guys. My name is Kathryn Kauffman, and I'm a psychic medium here in Lexington, Kentucky. Welcome to this Monday night show. This is where we discuss what and who we are in this journey called life. Welcome, everybody. If you get a minute, over here, it's over here. There's a scan code if you want to support the stream and buy me a coffee. All you have to do is scan the QR code, and it will take you to an easy to use PayPal link if you want to leave a couple of dollars for the cost of the show. Hey to all you guys over here on Instagram that are joining. So let me bring up the chat over here on the page. And let's see. Let me hide this, and we'll go to the chat and put the chat overlay there. And that's where the chat is going to be active after we get started. Happy Monday night, everybody. It's been a little bit. I've taken a little bit of a break, and it's been much needed. We got a lot going on here at the house. We have been working very hard to get David's mother moved out of her home of 40 plus years. And I've been diligently working on the house here to accommodate her living with us if she, so chooses to do that. And so it's been a lot of extra work. And so that's one of the reasons why I took a break from doing all of the videos. Okay, so let me check and make sure that we are good to go and we're streaming on all of the platforms, because it's been a minute since I've used it, and okay, so the chat isn't showing up on my feed, and I'm wondering why. Okay, not sure why that's happening, but it is, and hopefully I'll be able to figure this out. But it wouldn't be Monday night if there wasn't a problem, right? And for those of you guys who follow the red lipstick I'm wearing, this is L'Oreal Rouge Saint Germain. Okay. Hey to Janice. Yes, I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to actually have the time to be back. And so this video is a special request that goes out to my niece, Kathryn Kauffman. We were talking about this the other night, and I was trying to explain to her about things, and there was so much going on that night. She was like, can you just write it all down or make a video? I'm like, I'll make a video. Special shout out to Yasmin Jadoon over on YouTube. Thanks for joining, Janice. And I do have a lot of QR codes that I'm going to generate tonight that have my lists on Amazon. Now, these are affiliate links, so just know that I may get a nickel if you click on that and buy something. I may get 5 cents. Now, I'm not kidding. The affiliate links for Amazon, the payout is so low, it's almost not even worth doing it. But I want you guys to have the best books that I've found on Dream Incubation and Dream Recall. And I'll be showing you those QR codes later. But right now, let's get into the nitty-gritty of it. Your subconscious is your biggest self-help tool. While your conscious mind is busy with making decisions and focusing on things, your subconscious is filtering the environment and trying to separate data and categorize data so that you have what you need as far as information goes to make the best decisions possible. Now, it's going to communicate with you, your subconscious, that is going to communicate with you when you sleep at night. And so it does that through dreams. And the language of the subconscious is visual imagery. And that's why we dream in pictures and not sounds. If you hear sounds in a dream, that's a visitation. That's not a normal dream. It can either be a visitation from somebody who's passed on, or it can be a visitation from your spirit guide. It can be a visitation from an angel. It could be, God directly talking to you through the visitation. But visitations, you never forget. They're very surreal and very vivid and very tactile. And so you don't forget a visitation. But regular dreams, the purpose of the dream is to kind of go over things that you've been encountering during the week or during the last couple of days that are needing to be worked on. Maybe, you had some communication problems at work, and your subconscious is bringing up dreams where your teeth are falling out, something's happening to your voice. And what it's trying to do is to focus on things that will help you work through those different issues. So what I want to give you tonight is sort of a look at how to do dream recall and how to do dream incubation. So one thing that is imperative to do with dream recall, and dream recall, what it does is it captures the most active dream of the night, and that holds the most significant messages that the subconscious is trying to send you that you need to work on. Okay, so it's really important. You will have insignificant dreams throughout the night, but there's going to be one part of the night that you have the biggest dream or the most significant portion of dreaming, where your subconscious is trying to give you the most important information that you need to get through your life. But if you are sleep deprived, or if you fall asleep too quickly, your brain doesn't switch evenly enough. Your falling asleep process is where your brain is shutting down to sleep properly. And it usually takes anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes. But if you're sleep deprived or you don't have a regular sleep schedule, you're going to fall asleep more quickly, and you're going to miss out on a lot of the dreaming that happens when the mind goes through this proper shutdown phase. So if you're not sleeping on a regular schedule, before you get started with dream recall, I'm going to urge you to definitely try to get a regular sleep pattern established before you do this. Okay. So the next thing you want to do is to go to bed according to your timing, to have a regular schedule. That way you don't fall asleep too quickly. And so your mind is sort of in sync with this sleep pattern timer. It's really helpful to use a power down hour, and maybe give yourself 20 minutes for a specific type of meditation before you go to bed, so that your mind starts to get into gear with what it needs to do. And dreaming is the biggest task that you're going to give it. When you wake up, don't jump out of bed immediately. Kind of lay there. Try to remember what you were dreaming about as you wake up. Just lay there and go over the last details that you remember. Kind of drift in and out. But really try to remember what you're dreaming before you actually get out of bed. The next thing would be to put a pad of paper by your bed, and when you find out what's the most significant part of the night that you're dreaming in, I want you to write down initials of what you're dreaming. Let's say, for example, like me, you're dreaming about a White House, your family, and a picnic. In the old days when I was taught dream recall, they wanted you to either record the whole dream or to write it all out. And I found that if I did that in the middle of the night, if I woke myself up to the time of the night where I'm dreaming the most significant and I tried to write it all down, I was so awake that I couldn't go back to sleep. And so over the years, I found that if you will simply jot down the first initial of what you're dreaming about, in my case, I was dreaming about a White House, my family, and a picnic. So I would put WFP on a piece of paper. And that way, the next morning when I woke up, I would see those initials, and knowing those initials and what I wrote down, it would immediately trigger the recall of the dream that I had earlier in the evening. So why is that significant? Okay, so at night, your subconscious tries to send you dreams on things that you need to know, things that you have lost out on, things that you are being overwhelmed by, because your subconscious wants you to deal with this stuff. And so it will bring up these visual images in the hope that you will sit down and deal with those things that are bothering you. Now, when you have repeated dreams, what's happening there is your subconscious is having to repeat the information because for whatever reason, you're not dealing with the most significant aspects. And so what it does is it recreates the dream over and over, and it changes aspects of the dream with these minute things so that maybe this time you'll deal with it. So be very careful about repeated dreams, because it's probably an aspect that you're not getting or you're not dealing with. So I want you guys to know that a lot of the chat is not coming through on Restream. So I've gone to the Facebook page to look at the chat to see what you guys are asking. So Mike wants to know, does melatonin or THC gummies influence or assist dreams or recall? Actually, Mike, that will assist the dream recall because your brain will be a lot more active taking the THC and the melatonin. So no problem there. You don't have anything to worry about. So Belinda wants to know, or has said, I haven't remembered my dreams since my son died 2 years ago. Okay, so you actually dream at different times during the night. So when you're doing dream recall, it's important to find out what time of the night the most significant dreams are happening. So what you have to do, Belinda, is you have to set your alarm for different times throughout the night to figure out when is the most intense time that you're having your dreams. Belinda says she hasn't remembered her dreams, and that is because the most significant dreams that you're having are earlier in the evening. When you wake up in the morning, you're not dreaming, and so that's why you feel like you haven't had any dreams or you're not remembering your dreams, but they're actually happening earlier on in the evening. So what I usually suggest people do is to set their alarm. Let's say the first night you set it at 1 o'clock, you wake yourself up and you're not dreaming significantly. So the second night you set your alarm and you wake yourself up at 2 o'clock, and let's say you're not dreaming. Statistics show that the most significant dreams for people usually happen more towards the end of your night rather than the beginning. And so the third night, you set your alarm, let's say for 3 or maybe even 2:30, and you wake yourself up and you are dreaming something very significant. You know that that's the sweet spot of the time in the evening that most messages are coming through from the subconscious for you. So, Belinda, you just have to figure out what time of the night that you are most significantly dreaming. And another important thing for you, Belinda, is if you want to do a theta wave meditation before you go to bed, you may just have a visitation from your son who passed away, because theta wave is the major brain wave that is used for communication with spirits. And if your mind or your subconscious is not staying in theta wave long enough, that can really affect the quality of your dreams and the communications that you might get from people who've passed on. So Jonathan says, my dreams come around 3 to 4 a.m. and are very vivid. And so, Jonathan, yes, I find that my most significant dreams are right at 3:30. So what you want to do, again, is like put a pad of paper and a pen by your bed, schedule your alarm for 3:30. If you can program your mind to wake up at 3:30, that's actually better than using an alarm. And we'll go into that in just a second. When you hear an alarm, your body is stimulated to release, I think, adrenaline. But I want to mention this trick that, some of the stuff on the research that I do is really kind of funny. And so this research is saying if you really want to remember your dreams, another trick is to drink 3 big glasses of water just before bed, and it will prompt you to go to the bathroom several times throughout the night. Most of the time, your body will wake you up to go to the bathroom just after a REM cycle, when you are most likely to remember your dreams. So I guess if you're really desperate, drink 3 glasses of water. Let me find this other. Okay, so when you hear an alarm, in neurochemistry, your body releases noradrenaline. And when noradrenaline is high, we tend to forget our dreams. But you can program yourself to wake yourself up at certain times. Now, my suggestion is go ahead and schedule your alarm when you're first trying to find out at what point of the night that you're dreaming in. And then as you get used to waking up at that time and analyzing your dreams, go ahead and try to program your subconscious to wake up at that time. And the way that you would do that is you're going to, before bed, repeat several times in a row, maybe 7 times in a row. I will wake up at 3:30. I will wake up at 3:30. I will be dreaming and I will wake up at 3:30. And most of the time, you will be able to take control and program yourself to wake up at that time. So Belinda says, thank you so much. I was on antidepressants, so I think that has something to do with not remembering. No, it's actually just the time of the night that you're waking up, or the time of the morning that you're waking up, and you're not capturing the significant dreams that you're having. And remember, Belinda, go on to YouTube, find a brain entrainment video for theta wave, do it right before you go to bed, and ask your son to visit you. And then if he does, I would like to have, a message on Facebook or something to let me know that you were able to achieve that. So Amber says, I'm having an issue with changing my dreams if I don't, and unfortunately I'm thinking I'm hindering messages. Am I? No. Actually, so she says, I'm getting messages during daily work that I have messages from loved ones. However, I'm not getting any. Okay. Okay, let's think about this a minute. Okay, so she also says, don't like dreams, so I'm changing them. I mean, should I stop? Okay, I see what you're saying. So you don't like the dreams, and so you feel like, and so you're changing the dreams, but you want to know if you should stop changing the dreams. Lucid dreaming is what you're doing, and your subconscious wants you to take control of the issues. So if you're going into the dreams and actually changing them, I think that that is what you're supposed to do. And I think that you shouldn't suppress that. I think if that's what you feel like you need to do and you're able to do that, that's going to empower you. So KYGS Writer says on Instagram, I had a dream 2 nights ago where someone from Spirit was showing me a slideshow of what they do on the other side. The colors and energies were so vibrant and the energy was amazing. That's because it was a visitation. That is not a dream. That is a flat out visitation. So those are very real. And so I would recommend you writing that one completely out and going into a symbology reference and trying to interpret that completely. Yeah, because whatever they were showing you is very significant. And that was like the major key to what they were trying to tell you. So the weirder your dreams are, the worse your memory. Because upon waking, we have discovered that the more bizarre the imagery, the more difficult it is to remember, because your mind is trying to put this all together. If the dream is following a logical path, then the brain kind of knows what's going to happen next, so that it can store the memory of the dream. So when we have REM, or rapid eye movement sleep, more at the back half of the night instead of the beginning half of the night, this is the state of sleep where you're most likely to dream. And the brain is storing the memory instead of forgetting it. So if you have like a non-complex dream, it's easier for the mind to store the memory of it rather than a very complex dream. And that's why it's really important to do dream recall and just kind of use the initials of what you're seeing, like I did, White House Family Picnic, WFPH, and that recalls the complexity of the dream. Again, if you use an alarm, you're going to have that little boost of noradrenaline, but if you do that, what you need to do is just use the alarm at the beginning of doing the dream recall, and then try to program yourself to do dream recall at a specified time, and it will work. On several occasions, I have been able to program my mind to wake up at certain times without the alarm. And if you notice, a lot of us, even though the alarm is set at a certain time, you'll wake up 5 or 10 minutes before the alarm goes off routinely, because your consciousness knows that it's almost time to be awake. So now you need a really good book for dream recall. Let me check for questions really quick before I need to switch to this is where we're going to talk about the references that I want you guys to use. Hey to Angela Renee, good to see you. And Jonathan says 4 times during the last night since last dentist visit. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's not fun. Okay, so let's go to some QR codes, because I want to show you guys a few books that you might want to get. These are on my recommended list on Amazon. This is the first one I want to show you. This is the best little book, and I wish you guys on Instagram could see this. What I'll do is actually on the comments for this post on Instagram, I'll put the link to my Amazon shop. Or actually, if you want to, go to my bit.ly link in the Instagram, where it shows your links on Instagram. I've got a link tree there, and my Amazon shop is there. So if any of you guys on Instagram want to see all the lists of the books on Instagram or on my Amazon shop, go there and grab that Amazon shop link. It's been a long day, you guys. Okay, so what you're seeing up on the screen now, if you're on Facebook or YouTube, is the Encyclopedia of Dreams, written by Rosemary Ellen Guiley. It's not a big book, it's not expensive, and it really tells you how to interpret symbology in your socioeconomic group, because different socioeconomic groups relate differently to different symbols. And so this book teaches you how to properly interpret the symbols that you're seeing in your dream. And everything is significant. The colors are significant. The objects are significant. If your subconscious shows you a dream or shows you a tree in your dream, it doesn't mean tree. It's symbolic for family tree, family roots, that kind of thing. And those are, indicators of what you should be focusing on, what you should be working on. People have dreams because their brains are still active when they sleep. Okay, their brains might be working on solving problems that occurred during the day, or it may just be playing out what happened before bed, sort of like going over it with a fine-tooth comb. Here's some other really good books that you might... Now, this was one of the things that I was taught when we first learned dream recall, is keeping a dream journal so that you could write your dream down and then go back and analyze it. And I say that this is a really good thing for you to have so that you can kind of look back as the year goes by and see what things have I been working on. Am I carrying these things over through into a new year, or was this issue and this issue put to bed? Am I working on different issues? So it kind of clues you into, are you having to work on things repeatedly that you're not dealing with? Or have you worked on things and you've settled that and you're moving on to a different stage? It's very revealing. The longer that you're asleep, the more likely you are to remember your dream, because it's been put together in bits and pieces inside of your brain before you wake up. If you wake up after a few minutes, it's likely that you won't remember your dream, because the brain needs to finish the memory before it can be put into long-term storage. So it's very beneficial if you wake up and you haven't finished the dream while you're in that sort of dreamy state, you haven't really woke up enough yet, go ahead in your mind and try to finish the dream so that it is stored in the long-term memory. And that way you can work on it further for the future. Again, write down your dreams as soon as you wake up. Don't just jump out of bed and go grab that cup of coffee. Your brain is not really trained to remember dreams, so you have to do your own training on remembering your dreams. So here's one way that you can do that, and that's using a dream anchor. I don't know if you guys have heard that, but you choose an object in your room that you will see every time you wake up, and you tell yourself, whenever I see this object, I will remember my dream. And you're going to do that every night before you go to bed. Whenever I see this object, I will remember my dream. Here's another book that I'm showing. That's more on lucid dreaming, which is where you take control of your dreams, and that's one of the best states of being that you can be in. Another thing is you go back over the dream plot so that you know kind of, okay, what is it that I need to work on? What's the plot here that I need to work on? Now, if you're still having trouble, there are supplements that you can take to remember your dreams. I do not recommend these. I really think that you can do this type of work without messing with your body chemistry. However, if you want to take a more natural approach, eating the following types of food can help you remember your dreams more, and that is eating bananas, spinach, fresh and raw, nuts, seeds, and omega-3, 6, and 9s. Okay, so, and a lot of the different plants and vegetables are definitely big benefits in you remembering your dreams. Now we're going to go one step further into dream incubation. And for dream incubation, I'm going to put up a couple of books on dream incubation. And so everybody's like, oh my God, what is dream incubation? Well, because your subconscious holds the key to all the answers of your life and what you need to work on and problems that you have, you can pose a question to your subconscious and then dream the answer. And so that's called dream incubation. So what you want to do is, and this is the way that I was taught, and then we're going to go over a little step-by-step, another step-by-step that I found, because I want to give you a couple of options. But the way that I was taught dream incubation is, if you have a big decision to make, or you have a problem that you haven't been able to find a solution to, you're going to pose this question to your subconscious before you go to bed. And what you're going to do is sit on the side of the bed and ask your subconscious, what is the solution to blah, blah, blah? I need a solution to blah, blah, blah tonight. What is the solution to blah, blah, blah? You're going to state that in different ways about 7 or 8 times. I use 9 times. But, you however many times works for you. And then you're going to do dream recall during the night. And for me, I have to wake myself up at 3:30 to do the dream recall. At 3:30, I will be dreaming the answer to the question that I posed to my subconscious. So it's one of the absolute biggest self-help tools that you could ever have. It doesn't cost anything. It's at work. Yes, it is work, but you're getting practical, real, wonderful solutions from your own subconscious. Your subconscious works during the day to filter the quantum field for answers to your life problems. And when you're not analyzing your dreams, and you're not doing lucid dreaming, and you're not doing dream incubation, all of that self-help is just flowing out the window. Now, here's a different way to do dream incubation. I'm going to read this to you. Psychologists have developed incubation rituals to encourage problem-solving dreams. These usually target interpersonal and emotional problems, anxiety, and fears. But they are also relevant to objective creative tasks. Incubation instructions usually include, number 1, write down the problem as a brief phrase of sentence and place this by your bed. Number 2, review the problem for a few minutes before going to bed. And that's just kind of going over it in your mind. Number 3, once in bed, visualize the problem as a concrete image. If you're able to, if it's a concrete image, if you're able to, because that will set it in the mind, in the subconscious, for solution a little bit more visually. Number 4, tell yourself you want to dream about the problem. And this is part of that programming or training, is you're repeating and telling yourself that you want to dream about the problem. Number 5, keep a pen and paper, or maybe even a little flashlight or something with a little night light on it by your table, so that you can jot those things down on your paper. But remember, if you're a person like me who has trouble going back to sleep, just use initials: White House Family Picnic, WHFP. That will trigger the recall of the dream the next day. When you wake up in the morning, lie quietly before you get out of bed. Go over what you're dreaming about in your head before you get up. And also, if you wake yourself up before you finish the dream, it's very important for you to, in your mind, try to construct and finish the dream so that it is logged into your memory. Otherwise, you're going to lose the memory of it. Number 7, at bedtime, visualize yourself dreaming about the problem. Visualization is a big part of this, because it really stamps into the conscious mind the training of what you need to accomplish and what you need to do. Number 8 was very interesting on this, is arrange objects connected to the problem on the night table or on the wall across from the bed, and that will trigger you to be in focus with the problem at hand. It's like a visual cue. Yes, this is what I need to focus on. Yes, this is what I need to do. Let me switch back to the chat here. And then I will go back to Facebook and see if we have any other questions. And I don't see any. And let's see. Amber says, could you use B6 supplements instead of food to help remember dreams? Yes, you absolutely can. You absolutely can. Good to see you too, Beth. And I think that's it. I apologize if your question didn't get an answer, but the chat box is not capturing all of the different platforms and putting them on here for me to see. Let's go back to the QR codes. I want to give you one more. This is the one I'm going to give you. Okay. If you want to get daily benefits, please feel free to join my Patreon page. Every day I do a psychic influence and moon influence. You're going to get whether or not you should cut your hair, whether or not you should plant, what kind of influences the moon and the psychic environment is putting upon everybody around you. It's only $3 a month, and it's a daily post. So please feel free to join the Patreon page if you want to get those daily benefits. And, sometimes it is, it's easier to handle a bad day with bad influences if you know about it ahead of time. Like if the moon is in Scorpio and if the influences are bad for people to argue or fight, it's better knowing that when you go into your day, and that way when it happens to you, you're like, it's not such a big deal because I knew about it ahead of time. The other thing that I want to show you is if you like true crime podcasts, I would like for you to visit our friends over at Hitch to Homicide. It's a true crime podcast. It's also on YouTube. And it is some of the most interesting stories. And the releases are on Wednesdays. And you really should go and check it out. I think it's a good listen. You will really enjoy it. And I'm not getting any kickback or anything from it, but I really enjoy it. And I was just sharing the information with you. And these are good friends of mine. Okay, so next week we are going to, I've got a huge amount of dreams saved up for the last 2 months that I need to present, and those are going to be presented on next Monday night. So it's going to be a long show. So what I do on the dream interpretation night is I'm going to give all the dreams that were sent in, and I'm going to give my analysis of each one so that it kind of shows you how to interpret your own dreams. So that should be fun. And that's it for tonight.
Except for me saying.
What are you saying, David?
Try to get in here without getting in here. I like it when she does the live shows. It's so fun to hear her talking to everyone in the background.
That's fun. Now, for those of you that are interested, I've posted on my website. The post has been up for probably 6 months, 8 months now, but I haven't really promoted it because I haven't had time with all the stuff that we're doing for his mom. But I am doing mediumship training, and I've had a couple of students do really, really well. And so I put the program on my website. So just go to the website and go to the drop-down menu that says mediumship training, and you can see the price and how many sessions there are in the description of those. So if you have an interest in that, and you can do professional or personal training, it kind of takes a different trajectory if you're doing a professional approach and as far as marketing and business stuff. But for the personal stuff, we focus more on spirituality and healing and things like that. So I kind of fashion it to whatever the student needs at the time that they're doing it. I appreciate all you guys tuning in. And until next Monday night, kisses from Kentucky. And I will see you next Monday.